This is a series of spinning exercises. Now, I am highly encouraging you to have already experienced and watched the turns class with Michael that works on turning, going down the line using your triple steps and your steps. This is about spinning on one foot, and you need to be able to do both while social dancing. In this experience, or in this exercise, we're going to only work our way up using quarter turns, half turns, and full turns. So standing in a comfortable position, I want you to bend your knees ever so slightly, and from your waist, as if you were a doll or a G.I. Joe toy that had a rotating waist, I want you to rotate your upper body so that you feel this sensation of tightness across the abdominals. And you're going to rotate and then use your center muscles there, which you've just squished, to pull yourself around. It's important that you don't push from your leg in this moment. It's also important that you don't take your arms and wind yourself up. A lot of times we think that that's how we can get the power to turn, but I want us to focus in on our center, which is the lower abdominals, the obliques surrounding the rib cage, and this sensation of working within your core to get this squished, rotated feeling, which then can unwind and pull you. So we're going to be turning, I'm turning to my right a quarter. If you're watching with me, you can try this at the moment going to your left. And so what we're gonna do is turn onto that foot only a quarter, like so. That's it, and it's gonna feel insanely tiny and small and gentle, and that's the point, because I want you to think about focusing on the little twist that's happening in your center, and I want you to think about lifting the body up and only rotating that quarter rotation. So it feels very, very tiny, very small. Let's try that going in the other direction. So you bend your knees and you give that little bit of a twist. And when you see my arms move, it's not that they're moving from the shoulders. They're moving because I'm holding them consistent with the upper body, which experiences that rotation. And then I project myself going back a quarter rotation to the other side. So I'm gonna hit basically north, south, east, and west, and only aim for those quarters. Cool? The next step is to see if you can aim for half of a turn. Now what's important here is that I'm going to use my focus, my eyes, and I'm actually going to look behind myself out this window. So I bend my knees, I wind up in my inner muscles, and then I'm going to look back out the window. Same thing now to face the front. So I'm going to bend my knees, squeeze, look, and there I am. The idea is that we're still not throwing a lot of rotational power into it. We're still focusing on the rise or the suspension, and we're working on our focus. So here we are trying to do these half turns. Again, bend your knees, prepare in your waist, look halfway to the back, put your foot down. Prepare, twist, look. And let's try going in the other direction, only half a turn. And rotate, and rotate. There's gonna be all sorts of imperfections that you feel, mostly because we're not turning very far, and that's exactly the idea. It's to, again, fight for your balance on that one foot, so that this difficulty of holding on that one foot is what we're focusing on. Once you've been with that action for a while, then you can work your way up to a full spin, or 360 degrees. Now, before we just throw ourselves into it, like it's pretty easy. Just think, okay, turn all the way around. Yay, I made it. Instead, we want to control it again. I want you to think of it as half, and your focus is actually going to go back, front. So you're subdividing that turn into those two beats. Bend the knees, You prepare in the waist, and I'm gonna imagine look out the window, look back to the front, voila. So now the goal is to see if we can get through the full turn, and I want you to think of it as half and half. So you prepare and you look out the window and then to the front, and that's a full turn, but you easily got there because you didn't think about getting all the way around. You took your time along the way. Again, if you bend your knees and you give a little bit of a twist in your midsection, keep your arms stable, and I'm gonna focus out the window and then back to the front again. There we are. Let's see if we can try that on the other side. So you prepare, half, half. Once again, prepare and think suspend, suspend. And you're gonna fight for where your balance feels a little wobbly. Certain places that usually go wrong. When you begin the turn, if you push too powerfully into it, you're gonna tip your axis beyond the point of balance. So that's the first half of the turn, is finding where is that place that feels good. The second part of the turn that can often go wrong for us is as you're turning, when you come back to the front, what happens is people's balance tends to fall back into their heels like this. So as you're completing your rotation, you want to fight for staying in that forward placement, which we've also talked about when we're balancing on one foot. And actually, I personally have an imbalance. I can feel it with my left side to my right side, and that's normal as well. In fact, it fluctuates from day to day. So as I do this, I'm trying to fight for that forward position as I come around. And of course, you'll find where you go too far. Another thing that might help you when you're spinning is allow the supporting leg to be soft or bent. We're not trying to do a perfect ballet turn, so the knee can have a little bit of a bend to it, and your hip can have a little bit of a bend. That's going to help you negotiate your balance as you're turning. So do this in a sequence with me where we do quarter turns, each cardinal direction, north, south, east, west on one side, and then the other side. Then we switch to half turns, and then we're going to switch to full turns.